Alright, so this is a video on how to clean out a Pentair pool filter. I'm going to have to completely clean it because this one is completely full and the pressure is way too high. And a backwash isn't going to help. So these are all the steps you got to do to clean your Pentair filter. You know it's time to clean the filter when you backwash and your pressure is still kind of high. In my case, this is the pressure right now with this Pentair. You can see it's about 28 pounds per square inch. Not good. It should never be over about 20. Normal operating is around 10 to 12 for mine. And you can tell it's a Pentair because it says Pentair right on it. So we're going to disassemble all of this, take the filters out, clean them, and then put it all back together, and I'll show you how to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to backwash to get all the stuff out of it. That just makes it a lot easier to clean. Some people don't. I do. Backwash is done, so now it's time to shut everything off. So I'm closing the valve, and I'm also closing these valves as well. The valves that bring the water in and then out of the pool. So they're closed all the way off. And now it's time to disassemble this bad boy. To take apart the filter, we're going to start with this lock nut and take it off, and then take all of this off. Very important to remember, you got a spring here and you have two washers. Mine happen to be different sizes. This washer is smaller than this one, and the lock nut of course needs to come off. So we'll start unscrewing that, and when that's disassembled we can actually take the ring off. So we'll start on that right now. While I'm taking this off, another idea here, something that I do a lot, is to open the valve up here, and that way you can let the pressure compensate inside to outside. So now that the valve's open, there's going to be air in here. It'll be a lot easier to get the ring off and pull the lid up. Just a handy little trick. Just remember to close that down, and I'll show you to make sure you do that when you're done. To make it easier to unscrew, I can't do it now because I'm holding the phone, but you can actually hold this side of the ring, and that takes some of the pressure off this screw and just makes it easier to turn this off. Obviously I can't do that because I'm holding the phone, but that's an easy way to do it. Plus it doesn't let this bang down and maybe hit some of the piping there. So just a handy tip. Alright, so this is basically ready to come off, and so just a couple more turns here and that whole assembly comes off. So next step, go ahead and take the ring off. I'm holding with one hand. It's easier to do with two, obviously. And reach around here, grab this side. There we go. And try to not hit the equipment as you pull it off. And then just set it over to the side. I usually give this a good cleaning. I'm going to put it up here on my storage area right there. And I'm going to wash the inside with a hose to get the ring all clean. And so now we can take the top off. Again, we've relieved the pressure by opening up this. You can see the water's already starting to flow out. So it's just kind of a gentle motion like that. There it goes. And we're going to take the top. We're going to set it aside. You want to be careful with this valve, with the gauge, that you don't hurt the gauge. So I very carefully lay this down. By backwashing, we got rid of a lot of the diatomaceous earth. This happens to be a diatomaceous earth filter. And what we're going to do next is we're going to unscrew these two wing nuts here to start taking off the top assembly. So that's what's next. I'm just going to take these off. Make sure you don't drop them. It's a doozy to try to find these if they drop down now. But we're going to set these aside too. So I'll start doing that, and there we go. With the wing nuts off, you can see I've taken them off here. It's now time to lift this top piece up. There's also a gasket underneath here, so you got to be careful when you're lifting this. And there are handy instructions. Lift here and lift here. So this is where you want to lift it up, and this is going to be wedged pretty tight. So it's kind of a triple motion, lifting on both sides there, and slowly moving up this piece to get it off of the pipe there. So here we go. Just kind of gently rock it. Might have to use a little force to get this piece up here. Again, you want to kind of bring it all up evenly. There we go. And then that lifts that piece off. We're going to set this aside, give it a nice good cleaning. And here you can see the gasket that's on there. We're going to take that off. Take off the gasket same way. It's going to come up across these two screws. Want to be gentle with this. That's an important piece. So again, we're going to lay it off to the side and give it a good washing too. Okay, with those parts off, we now can start taking off the filters. Each one of these is a filter section. The way I like to do it is I take one out each at a time, but if you hose it all down and drop the drain plug, you could actually pull this whole assembly up. I recommend just taking each one out. That way you're not going to break the bottom of the assembly. It is plastic. So I've learned to be careful. And speaking of plastic, there is a drain plug down here. I stripped mine out and then I had a darn time trying to find a new drain plug. So I've learned, just leave it alone. I'm going to actually vacuum out all the water with my shop vac. So I've got my shop vac standing by. You don't necessarily have to do that. You could remove the drain plug in there. Again, I don't do it just because I stripped mine before and I want to be a little bit more careful. They're plastic parts and I'm not sure I'm always going to be able to get one at the store. So I, again, remove each one at a time. I always start with the small one, which is this one, and I take it, pull it straight out, and then I'm going to set it aside in order of how I pulled it out. So this one's going to go right here, and then I'm going to go around in a circle, and each one is going to be added out, right? So just like this. The next one, pull it out, set it down gently. These are all plastic, unfortunately. The third, etc. So I'm going to pull all of these out and lay them just like that. Taking all of the filters out, they're all here, lined up in a row in the exact order that I pulled them out. Now we pull out the bottom piece. Again, this is plastic, so you want to be gentle with this. And again, we're going to set it to the side and give it a good wash. If you have dogs like I do, get your dogs to move out of the way. Move, dogs. And we're going to start working on cleaning all that next. With the bottom piece out, it's time to clear out the rest of this. What I'm going to do again is use my shop vac to clean it out. There is a drain plug, which I'll show you in a minute. I don't use it. You can. It's plastic, and I'm just afraid that something will happen because it already did once. I already stripped one. So I'm going to shop vac the rest of this stuff out, hose it all down, get it all nice and clean. Alright, so we're going to give this a good cleaning. Make sure you get this edge around here too, by the way. Get that all nice and clean where that gasket is. Hose it all down. And after that, again, we're going to do the shop vac. Alright, shop vac time. Here we go. Gonna put the shop vac in here, get this stuff up, and then hose it down. There we go. Get all that crud out. And a little bit of water. All nice and clean. Alright, good to go. Cool. Now we clean the rest of the parts. You want to be careful cleaning these. Again, they're plastic, so spritz it with some water, get all the junk out. And by the way, I'm going to do both sides of these. Get it 100% clean. Get everything off. Do both sides. I'm going to do the inside there too. And like I said, I'm also going to do the gasket up there and the ring as well. So take care of all that and then I'll be right back. The last part to clean is going to be the filters themselves. You want to be very, very careful with these little plastic pieces here. If these break off, if one of these breaks off, your filter won't work. I've discovered that the hard way. One of these broke off, and all of the crap was going right into here and then right in through the whole system, and I had to replace it. So you want to be very cautious with these little plastic pieces here. And when you're cleaning, and what we're going to do is we're going to clean both sides, and then we're going to put water down in here as well to get all of the media out of this filter as much as we can. So here we go. So to hose this down, go like this, give it a good spritzing, get all that junk off of it. There we go. And you want to be gentle with these because the ribbing inside is plastic, and if it breaks, that's going to be a problem. So again, we're going to clean both sides, and we're also going to put water down in the center here to get everything cleaned out inside and out. And then I hold them upside down when I'm cleaning to get all of the junk and dirt out. So again, nice good cleaning, get everything off. The more you clean now, the less often you have to do this. So it's really good to get this 100% clean. All right. Do that for each one of these. Alright, so I got everything clean. You can see this gasket's nice and clean. I've cleaned both sides, including inside all of that. Obviously I gave this a washing as well. The inside of the filter is washed, and this base is washed. So everything's clean and ready to be reassembled back in here. When you reassemble it, you're going to want to also coat your gaskets with something kind of handy. I like to use this. This is Pool and Spa Lube. You can get it at Leslie's. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this, and we're going to treat all of the rubber pieces, including right here, here, anywhere where there's rubber, to make sure there's a nice seal with the lube. It makes it easier to take things on and off as well. So we're going to do that next.